that you went on from end of the Duke's Mayo Bowl to when you got back onto the field last season? What happened?
So Duke's Mayo Bowl was my true freshman year. Then that spring, around this time in spring, I broke my foot, and then had surgery on that summer. Coming back, I was trying to get back for fall camp, earn a big role, and then I broke it my first practice back, and then I also did a few other things to my ankle at that time, and so then we opted not to get anything done, just let that heal on its own. And then when I was coming back from me breaking my foot in that season, I was still having troubles with my ankle that I kind of messed up. And then, so that took my whole sophomore year. And then going into that following spring, my ankle was still bothering me, so we ended up having surgery on that again. And it was a pretty big surgery. Rehabbed it in the summer, right as I thought I was gonna start breaking through again, get out on the field. I broke something else in my foot, and then when I came back from that, we also found out that the surgery on my ankle didn't really go as planned. So not this past year, but the year before that, when we played in the bowl game in Arizona, I had a pretty extensive surgery on my ankle to try to just put everything back together, and so that was pretty extensive. And then I was able to start walking a little bit last spring, and then in the summertime, this past summer, I started to be able to jog again, and then I kind of just continued that process and was able to finally get cleared the week right before the Minnesota game this past year.
Which foot, which ankle? Was it the same?
It's all on my right side.
Oh, okay.
How many surgeries in all?
4 different operations, and then I had 4 different operations on it. Broke it, didn't choose to operate on it, and then I also had 3 stress fractures on that side. So
how did you stay the course to get back to where you are today and not one day just walk into the coach's office and say, that's it, I'm done?
I mean, we talk about our why a lot, and I think for me it's, a lot of who I am is rooted in football, and so that was big for me. And I come from a family where you just show up to work every day, do what you can do, and I didn't think anything real special about it. Unfortunate stuff happened around me, but I was really lucky to be around very special people, people that didn't give up on me, still trained me hard in the weight room when it looked like there wasn't answers. People in the training room, my physical therapists, athletic trainers, they were still looking for solutions, and so that's really it. Just show up to work every day.
You had 2 long waits. One, to get back on the practice field, which you were told was 700 plus days?
I think it was, probably 750, 800, around that.
Okay, and then from one game, from the Mayo Bowl to Minnesota was more than 1,000 days. What?
1,060 days, I believe. Yeah.
What did you do anything to celebrate getting back on the practice field? And what was it like that Minnesota game to actually get on the field again?
I mean, the celebration was just be able to play again. It's kind of, this is what you live for. When you're hurt, you go to bed every night and you're just playing the game in your head over and over again. So just being able to, take the film room, take everything, be able to practice was pretty cool. And the Minnesota game, when I played my true freshman year, it was COVID, so I didn't grow up in a huge town, so I didn't really play in front of a lot of people. Obviously, I'm from Minnesota, and so just jogging out on the field, it was dang, this is kind of what I dreamed of as a kid, took me a while to get there, but it was kind of surreal. So
From a football standpoint, now that you're back, how challenging has it been to get into the flow? It's obviously a new system for
Yeah.
you to recruit for. What do you think you're adding here to this outside linebacker?
did you say what?
What do you think you can add to this group? How challenging has it been? Just
There's a few stuff that it's like rusty, just different positions where you don't know if you really trust yourself yet. And I'm still working through some of that stuff, but I think what I add just being back already is, a knowledge of the game. The past 3 years, I've just been studying the game, just playing the game in my head. So like when I'm out there, I've seen it all on tape, and then just when you have that knowledge, it allows you to just cut loose and play fast and physical. And I think that's one of my strengths, is just playing physical. And I think that's what I add to the room.
You've been through so much physically. Is the mental part of it almost as challenging now? Just overcoming.
Yeah, the mental part. I mean, I think they go hand in hand. Like your mental health and your physical health. If your physical health's not great, your mental health's not great. If your mental health's not great, normally your physical health struggles. So there was a good year and a half where I was struggling mentally, and it showed like physically, I'd say. But when I was able to start, doing more things last summer, my mental health kind of came back, and I had a little bit more of a spark, I'd say. So the mental part was real tough because I'm not coming to college or doing any of this if it wasn't for football. And then when football gets taken away from you, it's like, well, what am I doing here? So
a lot has happened with this program since you were on the field in 2020 with new position coaches and coaching staffs. At any point, when you're kind of behind the scenes and not on the practice field every day, just concerned about being left behind with just all the changes that were going on with coaches that don't know you?
Yeah, I'm very lucky that when this staff came in, I'm sure a lot of people doubted me, but I think my position coach, really believed in me, and I know that the strength coaches really believed in me, and so I do owe a lot to the staff for keeping me around, seeing something in myself, and at times I didn't even see myself coming back. A lot of times I didn't, but for them to just believe in me, means a lot.
Where you are now, how confident do you feel that when you're finally able to turn it loose, that you can return to the player you were, presumably better than the last time you were able to get through the whole season? I'm definitely a completely different player now than I was back then. And I think I'm a better player now. There's some things that I still got to work through, but I'm definitely a better player now, and in the fall, I'll be able to show that, and I'm excited to show that. I guess do you feel healthy enough to finally ditch that scooter? Or do you
Yeah.
still have it?
No, I don't have any of that anymore. So
You mentioned the Minnesota game, playing in your home state. I assume you had friends and family there that day?
I had my family there. Yeah.
What was it like for them to see you finally get back, and then just that I'm assuming you got to interact with them a little bit?
Yeah. It was really big for me. My family, they were fighting their own battles, still fighting a battle. My mom got diagnosed with cancer about 2 years ago, so she was going through that battle, and for her to, see me play, it meant a lot. And it was, I don't know, when you're stuck in like the thick of it, you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it was huge for me to be able to play, because football has kind of always been an escape, so.
I apologize if this is a personal question, but did you ever think you're battling back to try to get on the field, that your mom might not be there to see that?
I mean, there's always a thought, and you don't like to think that way, but when you're dealing with cancer, there's always a thought there. So it was big for me to come back and play.
When you've waited as long as you have, there's probably temptation to kind of look ahead and September, right? What are things going to look like in September? How much more to play then? I'm curious though, if since you've waited so long, if it's easier to kind of just focus on today, tomorrow, and not get
Yeah.
A little both, maybe.
No, it's a lot easier. I've been able to mature, I guess, and you don't really take much for granted. So like, whatever September holds, like it holds. But I want to be, here today, playing today, and I think that I've been able to do a really good job of that this winter and this spring. So.